Okay, so today I will be talking about climate change, and I will be regarding the idea that climate change is not man-made. So the last idea is a myth. Climate change is real and it's man-made, and in this presentation I will be explaining why it's man-made and why it's important to take action in climate change and not continue to believe this myth. So climate change is extremely severe, and we must disregard the myth that it's not man-made in order to save our ecosystems, as said in this quote from Global Warming and Climate Change. So, these are the main ideas on how climate change is man-made and why it's so important to do things about climate change and not just be a bystander. It's important to upstand climate change and try to change things for our world. So one of the first reasons that climate change is indeed man-made is because of greenhouse gases. And these greenhouse gases are indeed from humans, and the excess of them are from us. And in Global Warming and Climate Change, a great article that is a great read and has many important it has a lot of important information on climate change. It shows us how many of our agricultural and industrial processes result in excess greenhouse gases like methane and other things like that. And these are really bad for the environment in an excess amount. And it's not just the natural amount of these greenhouse gases, it's extra because of us. And this greenhouse gas can also come from deforestation, because when we remove trees, we remove the things that can absorb lots of carbon dioxide. So when you remove trees, you have more carbon dioxide because the trees aren't absorbing this. And fossil fuels are also a really big issue that cause greenhouse gases. So here are some images of fossil fuels, and it just shows how disrupting they are to the earth. Another reason that climate change is so man-made is because it's purely impossible that this would all happen in a natural way. And many studies have indicated that it has to be from humans and human activity, and this is from Climate Change, another great article. There's been so much. Climate scientists have found that humans must play a role, and none of this could be happening with natural occurrences. Okay, and another idea on why climate change is man-made is because science has said that there is truly no other plausible reason for climate to be changing so rapidly other than human activity. And in climate change controversies, they did a study and tried to see if there was another maybe factor in climate change, but the factors were weak, and humans were always the only model that could account for such dangerous climate change and global warming. Human activities just have resulted in so many issues, and so little human activity can go such a far way. And then here's some scientific proof on climate change, and shows how scientists truly do believe global warming and climate change is from humans. And also this shows how science has recorded the human impact on the climate, and it just can give you a sense of reassurance that they really do try hard to make sure it's humans, and they use really intense techniques to make sure that their logic is correct. And then the final idea on why climate change is definitely man-made, and the idea that it is man-made is a complete myth is that we have people finally taking action on climate change, and it's so important to join those people in taking action and stop regarding the idea that it's not man-made, because nothing good can happen from continuing to believe this myth. So yeah, we have to, there's so many things people have begun and that are so big of a deal throughout the world, like the Paris Climate Agreement and just like recycling and so many things. And so many Americans and Europeans alike want to help with climate change. There are many things you can do to help with climate change. So you can refrain from driving, you can recycle, you can do so many things, and you can read those on the bottom. And also, there are just so many horrible things that could happen if we don't try to change things now. And so many things could happen, and we could even be so short of water and food and malnourished, and it could just be horrible. And it's so important to take a turn and try to change the future for our world. Okay, and finally, here are all my sources I used for this presentation, and I hope this presentation allowed you to consider and remember that climate change is man-made, and the only way we can create a better future for ourselves and our family is by taking action and disregarding the myth that climate change is not man-made.